Hey, hold on. Before you scroll past this, I need to ask you something. Have you ever heard of a board game so complex that chess grandmasters have looked at it and said, yeah, I don't know about this one? A game played with nothing but seeds and a wooden board. No cards, no dice, no screens. Some people call it one of the deepest strategy games on the entire planet. What if I told you this game has been played in East Africa for possibly over 1,000 years, and most of the world has absolutely no idea it even exists? That game is called Bao. And today on How Games Work, we are going to break it all down, step by step, super simple, no big brain required. Whether you love board games, card games, or just want to learn something genuinely awesome today, stick around. By the end of this video, you're going to understand one of the most underrated, most fascinating games in human history. Trust me, the part about how captures work, that alone is going to make your jaw drop a little bit. Don't skip out. We're just getting started. So, what even is Bao? Great question. Bao, full name Bao la Kiswahili, is a traditional board game from East Africa. We're talking countries like Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and especially the island of Zanzibar. And this game is not just some casual thing people pull out at family dinners. Over there, it is kind of a huge deal. People gather in the streets, crowds form around players, grandmasters compete in tournaments, and whole communities just watch. It's basically the chess of East Africa, except, and here's the wild thing, some people argue it's actually harder than chess. But we'll get to that. Bao has been around for hundreds of years. Some historians think versions of this game go back over 1,000 years. 1,000! While other parts of the world were doing whatever, people in East Africa were sitting down playing one of the most mentally demanding games ever invented. That's honestly kind of incredible. Now, real quick, before we get into the actual rules, if you're new here, welcome! This channel is all about one thing, explaining how games work. Board games, card games, party games, classic games from all around the world. We break them all down in a simple, fun way, so literally anyone can understand how to play. So if that sounds like your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and smash that like button too. It really helps the channel grow. Now, let's actually learn how to play Bao. Okay, step one is understanding the board. Because once you get the board, everything else starts clicking into place pretty fast. So, picture a rectangular wooden board. It has holes carved into it, 32 holes total. These holes are laid out in 4 rows with 8 holes in each row. 4 rows, 8 columns. That's it, like a simple grid. Now, here's how it's divided. Each player gets 2 of those rows. Your 2 rows are on your side, your opponent's 2 rows are on their side. Think of it like a table with line down the middle. Your half, their half. And your 2 rows have names, helpful ones. The row right up against your opponent's territory is your inner row. The row closest to you is your outer row. The inner row is the most important in the whole game. The things you use as playing pieces are called seeds. Sometimes people use small stones or beads, but traditionally, actual seeds from nature. Very old school, very cool. Now, one specific hole in your inner row has a special name, the Nyumba. It means house in Swahili. It's the fourth hole from the right on your inner row, kind of like your home base. Just remember that word, Nyumba, house. Look, if the board feels like a lot right now, don't stress. Seriously. Once you sit down with an actual board, it all makes way more sense. It's like setting up chess for the first time. You look at the picture, place the pieces, and after one game, it's just automatic. Promise.
All right. So how do you actually set up the game before you start playing? Each player starts with 32 seeds total. But here's the thing. You don't put all of them on the board right away. Some go on the board, and some you hold in your hand. The ones in your hand are like your reserve, your backup troops, and you'll use them during the first phase of the game. For the starting position, seeds are placed in specific holes across your inner and outer rows. In the classic Tanzanian version, your Nyumba starts with 6 seeds in it, more than most other holes. A handful of other holes across your rows start with a few seeds each. Some holes start empty. The exact layout can vary a tiny bit depending on the version you're playing, but the important thing is some holes start loaded, some start empty.
Now, the game has 2 phases. Think of it like a movie with 2 acts. Phase 1 is called Namua. Phase 2 is called Mtaji. Namua is the opening. You're still planting seeds from your hand and building your position. Mtaji is the main game. Everything you've got is on the board, and the real strategy kicks in. We'll do Namua first. Oh, and one thing worth knowing before we dive into the rules, Bao belongs to a family of games called Mancala games. You might have heard of Mancala. It's that game where you scoop up stones and move them around a board, dropping them one at a time. Yeah, Bao starts with that same basic idea and then absolutely cranks it up to like 11, maybe 12.
All right. Namua, the opening phase. This is when you still have seeds in your hand and you're planting them onto the board, building up your position and, oh yeah, already trying to steal your opponent's seeds. So it starts aggressive right from the jump. No gentle warm-up here. You're coming out swinging from move 1. Here's how a single turn works during Namua. You took 1 seed from your hand and drop it into any hole on your inner row. Then, and this is the key move, you pick up all the seeds in that hole, including the one you just dropped, and you start sowing. Sowing just means you move along the board and drop 1 seed into each hole as you go, one at a time, like leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. You choose whether to go left or right when you start sowing, but whichever direction you pick, you stick with it for that whole move. And here's the important part. Sowing wraps around your own 2 rows. You go along your inner row, then when you hit the end, you wrap around and come back along your outer row. You stay on your own side of the board.
Now here's where it gets exciting. The capture. If your very last seed, the final one you drop, lands in a hole on your inner row that already has seeds in it, and there are seeds sitting in the matching hole on your opponent's inner row directly across from it, you capture. You take whatever seeds are in that opposing hole and bring them over to your side. That's how you drain your opponent down. There's one rule here that catches a lot of new players off guard. If there's a capture available on your turn, you must take it. It's not optional. You can't look at it and go, I'll pass. If a capture is available, you are taking it. Period. This means the board sometimes forces your hand, whether you like it or not. And that changes everything about how you have to plan your moves. Oh, and one more thing. During Namua, your Nyumba hole is protected. You can't capture seeds directly out of the Nyumba while Namua is happening. It's a safe zone during the opening. But that protection eventually goes away. Just something to keep tucked in the back of your mind for later. So when does Namua end and Phase 2 begin? Namua ends when a player uses up all the seeds from their hand. No more backup seeds. Everything's on the board now. At that point, the game shifts into Phase 2, Mtaji, the main event. And this is where Bao earns its reputation. In Mtaji, the basic turn is actually simpler in one way. You no longer plant seeds from your hand. On your turn, you just pick up all the seeds from any one of your occupied holes and start sowing. Left or right, your choice. Drop one seed per hole as you go. Same sowing mechanic as before, just no hand seeds anymore. Simpler to start, but way harder to master. Captures still work the same way in Mtaji. If your last seed lands in a hole on your inner row, and there are opponent seeds in the matching hole across, capture! Take them! But here's the thing that makes Mtaji absolutely wild. Sometimes a capture chains into another capture. You grab the opponent's seeds, keep sowing, and if that last seed also triggers a capture, you keep going. These chain reactions can sweep across the board, completely transforming the whole game in a single turn. A skilled Bao player can look at the board, see a chain of 4 or 5 captures all lined up, plan the whole sequence in their head, and then just execute it. While their opponent sits there going, "Wait, where did all my seeds go?" It's one of the most satisfying things in any board game anywhere. Seriously. Every game of Bao is completely different. The boards never look the same twice. And that's honestly a huge part of why people get addicted to it. There's no one winning formula you can just memorize. Every game is a new puzzle. That's what keeps people coming back to this thing for literally 1,000 years. Oh, and remember that Nyumba protection from Phase 1? Yeah, that's gone now. In Mtaji, the Nyumba is just a regular hole. No more shield. So if you didn't build a strong position around it during Namua, you might find yourself in trouble real fast. Okay. So, how do you actually win this thing? There are 2 ways. First way, if your opponent can't make a valid move on their turn because their inner row is completely empty, you win. No seeds in the inner row means no legal moves. Game over. Second way, if you capture so many of their inner row seeds that they have nothing left in there to work with, same result. You win. Here are a few quick strategy tips even a total beginner can use right away. 1. Protect your Nyumba. Losing those seeds early is almost always a bad sign. 2. Keep your inner row stocked. More seeds spread across your inner row means more options every turn. 3. Always check what your opponent can capture before you move. Don't hand them a free win. And the big one? Think ahead. Even just 2 or 3 moves ahead is enough to start playing way better. The top Bao players can see 6, 7, 8 moves into the future and plan entire chain sequences from memory. That takes years of practice. But even as a beginner, just asking yourself, what happens if I go this way, makes a huge difference. Slow down, think, then move. And that, my friend, is how you play Bao. From the board layout, through the Namua opening phase, all the way into the deep chain capture world of Mtaji. It might feel like a lot right now, but honestly, grab a board, grab some seeds, sit down with a friend, and just start playing. It clicks way faster than you think. And once it clicks, you are absolutely not going to want to stop. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Have you ever played Bao before? Have you even heard of it? I read every single comment. If this video helped you, smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Share it with a friend who loves board games or strategy games. They will thank you later. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because we cover all kinds of games broken down exactly like this. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.